CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
Good morning and welcome to Public Affairs on Peach. I'm Karen Greer. We have an action-packed show for you today, a little something for everyone out there. You know, the new movie 5 Feet Apart sheds light on cystic fibrosis, and today you're going to meet a man who's defied all the odds, and you hear his inspirational stories and stories from other survivors. If you haven't already signed your kids up for summer camp, guess what? We've got some great overnight camps. If you're still looking for some little campers, that looks like fun. And another fun festival is coming to town. It's the Tiny Home Tour. Look at that. We're going to let you check it all out. But first, we're going to get you organized. This is that time in that season. Bonnie Casamasima is here, an interior designer and professional and founder of Interweave People Place. Love that, Bonnie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And there is a psychology to being organized, you say.
Absolutely. So there's a psychology to interior design, and our spaces impact our health, our happiness, and our well-being. And it's really looking at how can we see our spaces, such as our homes or our offices, to support that quality of life we want to achieve.
Oh, okay. So just really helping people get the whole picture. Now, defining the emotions you want can help you decide just what you're going to keep and what you're going to get rid of, right?
Absolutely. There's a growing body of research that talks about the science behind how we feel in certain spaces. So once we define what emotions we want to feel, we use the research to look at, okay, what's the why and the how to actually create that with your space.
I would love to see your home. I bet you it's amazing. So let's do first room. You see, the first room you see when you get in, you should ask yourself what? Your emotions, what do you feel when you come here?
A lot of times I'll talk with clients and they say, okay, how do we even start? Right? And so step one, know that space impacts our biological and our psychological well-being. So then we know that. So how do we start, right? We look at the spaces that we're walking in first, is my recommendation. So maybe the entrance of your home. And what do you see the very first thing when you walk in? Or maybe it's your office. What is that first thing you see when you walk in? And then think about how do you want to feel, and does that align with that emotion that you're trying to create?
Now we're talking about what our guests see the first room they walk in, or when we walk in. Like for me, I'm coming through the garage, so it's the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. So it's what you see, right?
Okay, all right.
Exactly.
So the kitchen should be nice, organized, and the colors in it. I hate to say my colors in my kitchen are yellow. Is that a good thing?
Oh, it's a great thing. It
Okay.
depends on what emotion you're going for, right?
Happy.
So yeah, there's a psychology to color, and everybody's different, right? Based on cultural preferences, personal preferences. As a general overview, our reds, our oranges, and our yellows, those are really energizing and exciting.
Yay.
And our blues and our greens are going to be a little more calming.
Oh, maybe I should do calming.
And yeah, again, and it doesn't mean that you have to have all yellow or all green. It's how are you balancing them oftentimes.
Okay, and just organizing, not having a lot of clutter is important.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do you do that?
Yeah. Well, one of the things you can think about is, starting with that intention, right? And when we're talking about environments, it's about setting that intention and then using the science and the research to support that. So for example, if we're starting with our homes and we're starting with that first room, I know we brought in a few examples to walk through, is say that we want to really evoke the emotion of being grateful or gratitude.
I love
right?
that.
Yeah. One of the things with being grateful and gratitude is it starts to support our neurological development. So it actually engages our alpha and gamma waves, so very productive for us.
Okay.
And so it also makes us happier too, right?
Yes.
So one of the things is thinking about what are some of the elements that help you to feel happy and appreciative? Keep those. The ones that even trigger a little bit of stress, find a new home for them.
Oh, wow.
Donate them, get them out of your space. In that first space that you walk in.
So pictures,
Yeah, so
family.
Exactly. So maybe you've got a picture that reminds you of that first trip that you took with a group of friends or your family,
Wonderful.
right? So it's bringing you back to that appreciative moment. Maybe you've got a pack of your mail,
Oh.
right? So we need these, right? But
Right.
maybe we find a spot to put them in a different space,
I love
not
this
where
in
we
a
first
basket
walk in.
under my script.
And maybe we've put our shoes that we thought were going to be fabulous, but they never quite fit right, right? So get them out of that first space that you see.
Don't want to see them.
And maybe that gym jacket that you told yourself you were going to run a little bit, but maybe you haven't run just yet. Keep it, right? Because you want to
Oh,
do it,
keep
but not in that first space that
Okay.
you see.
So we'll
Okay.
pack that away.
And then you've got a piece of ceramics that you love, but you chipped it. And then you remember,
get rid of
okay,
it.
now I've got another thing that I have to do. So it starts your brain down this to-do list. maybe get it out of that first space that you see.
Wow. Okay.
And then you're keeping, and then if you have iPad or something, if it reminds you of all the work you have to do, right? Keep it, right? But not in this front space.
Oh my goodness.
And then, so you're left with a few key items. So maybe you've got a bowl that you put your keys in, and it reminds you that you've got a space to come home to, and you're grateful for that, a space that's actually lockable and secure, right? So maybe you keep that, and you put it in a bowl that's really special to you. So maybe it's a bowl that you created during your first pottery class, right?
Or the kids created.
Or the kids created, exactly. Yeah, absolutely, that reminds you of that. And maybe you have a trinket that a partner gave you on one of their travels, and they wanted to bring it back, and it reminds you of that special moment.
And look how streamlined everything has become. I love that, because the first spot when I come in through the garage is the desk, my desk.
Exactly.
And you don't want the mail and all those things on there, or things you have to remember. So I love that.
Yeah, easy to access, but not right when you first walk in.
Great tips. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Oh, you're wonderful. I'm ready to go home and purge right now.
Great.
Now you're going to be at the Tiny House Festival, right?
I am going to be at the Tiny House Festival Saturday at 2 p.m. sharing the psychology of interior design and really looking at how can space support that quality of life. If you're not even yet ready to move in that 100 square foot home, we can talk about creating intention around that space and using that as a tool in your intentional quality of life.
We'll check you out. Thank you so much. Now, some patients with cystic fibrosis have to work out 3 hours a day or more to just stay ahead of the terminal disease. When we come back, my next guest has battled the disease that took the life of his sister and is now working to find a cure. We'll be right back.